Well, on today's Classics World video, we're going a little bit modern, arguably too modern for some of you out there, but we're going to give it a go anyway. We're going to take this, an E92 335i BMW Coupe, out on the road to see what it's like.
But first, our friends at Lancaster Insurance are running monthly giveaways. You can win all sorts, from experience days to tools, restaurant vouchers and tech. So click the link below at the end of the video to enter their latest competition.
First of all, thanks for sticking with the video, because some of you may have been tempted to switch off at the thought of such a modern BMW appearing on Classics World, but I kind of wanted to pitch the E92 as something of an emerging classic, and there's many reasons why I think that. First of all, the E46 3 Series that this model replaced is getting actually really rare now, and sort of top spec models, particularly things like M3s, are now super desirable and super rare. By natural extension, the next generation model is the one that people start to focus on because they're just that little bit more affordable. But I'm very aware that for many people, this will still be regarded as a modern car. I mean, indeed, it was initially unveiled in December 2004, so almost 20 years ago, and it was replaced in 2012 by the F32 generation model. This being the E9X series, or the E90. So the E90 was the saloon, and this is the E92 Coupe. The E91 was the wagon. But this was the last coupe to be called a 3 Series, because the F32 generation was known as the 4 Series. So there's a bit of significance there as well. It was also the first 3 Series to have a turbocharged 6-cylinder engine. So this is the N54 6-cylinder twin turbo engine. There's probably some consternation for that, because BMW being the ultimate driving machine, it was very much ones about normally aspirated, sheer, smooth, silky power, not sort of artificially forced induction engines. That was way too beneath BMW back in the day, but I guess a push for better emissions and more efficiency led them down the route of twin turbos. But what an engine it is! Over 300 horsepower, 400 Newton meters of torque. It's definitely no slouch. Not that I'm exploring it driving down these residential streets near Eastbourne, but anyway, the engine sounds lovely. It's got a sort of slightly purposeful burble. This one's got a sports exhaust on it, so it feels a little bit more throaty, I think, probably than standard. The car came with a 6-speed manual, as it's got in this case, or they did have a 7-speed dual clutch automatic. One of the troubles with this is that the N54 engine was known to be something of an unreliable power plant. Unusual for BMW, really. 8.8 litres is the oil capacity of this particular engine. So if it's starved of oil and it's particularly driven hard, you can imagine why problems may ensue. So it wasn't unknown for things like big end bearing failures, leaky gearboxes, failing throttle actuators. So the E92 Coupe came out a year after the saloon and the estate model, so it came out in about 2006. And up until 2007, this 335i model was the flagship. The M3 came out in 2007, so usurping that. But never underestimate, this car is no slouch at all.
How was the drive, Phil?
It's good. Yeah, I mean, I like the look of these E92s. I think
yeah, it's fantastic.
They've got a sort of nice sleek profile, probably better looking than the E46 it replaced.
Sure. You've got to remember, this is 16 years old. You know.
Well, this is the argument. Is it a future classic or not? And I'm hoping our Classics World dear viewers will comment to say whether they think it's a future classic in the making, or maybe it never will be. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know whether it's got the same charm as the earlier BMWs. I think it's lost a bit of that in translation. The interior in particular is a really massive step back from the E36 and E46, and certainly the E30 that was years before that. It had a much more solid and ergonomic interior. I think these fascias are really plasticky.
Yes.
Quite like the way it drives.
Yeah.
Quite nice firm suspension.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Good handling.
I mean, they're quite low profile, these tyres. What are they, 39? So yeah, they're running 35s
Yeah.
profile, so.
Yeah, so it's quite stiff. Again, maybe because I'm getting old, I want softer ride, but
Yeah.
and I think we've both commented that the 6-speed manual box has got quite a long, deliberate throw about it, which I don't think's that conducive to quick gear changes.
That's right, yeah. If you had an automatic version of this car, it'd probably see you off.
I think that's exactly it. I think I would have the auto. It's a lovely engine. It's BMW's first twin turbo petrol engine, certainly under the bonnet of a 3 Series.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely engine. Sounds really good. There were reliability issues with it, I was told, but I don't know. This one seems to be running okay. I think it's all about the oil. It needs good oil.
Yeah, there's no dipstick. You have to check it all via dash here, which we did obviously when we bought it. There's a bit of a top end tick. I'm not sure if they're like that after listening to another one.
They need to warm it up maybe, but they need 8.8 litres, and I think it's of 10W60, like fully synthetic oil. So if it's not got the right oil or enough oil in there, you can imagine these things running dry and damage to them. But
we bought it from the classifieds, really, didn't we? You know, we don't really know the history of it.
You're an auction man. You could probably get them cheaper than we paid. I think 5.8 for this one.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of money for an old car, but they're obviously in demand.
Saloons are cheaper actually, because I think there's more of them around, and of course you can get different spec ones. 335s are the desirable one.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think they're a very pretty shape, and I personally don't mind the lack of practicality that you would otherwise get in a saloon or an estate version. So the E90 and E91s, but yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a really interesting project. I'd love to see how car mechanics has to deal with it, whether it is going to be as unreliable as some of the pundits suggest. But
there's a couple of things that we've seen, and the headlight. I think this is a common problem on BMWs. This headlight's steaming up here.
Yep.
May have to buy a new one or a second-hand one if we can't dry it out. And I noticed that door mirror was flopping around as you moved along.
Okay.
Yeah. Not very good at night. Driving along the motorway, so there's a couple of little things that need sorting first, but then we get into the mechanicals of it. I think there's a bit of oil leaking as well.
Right.
I've
there we go.
By the oil filter.
Well, it's quite telling that although this was a relatively new engine when it came out in 2006, they replaced it within 5 years. The engine was upgraded in 2011, so even BMW must have been aware of issues with it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have replaced it quite so soon.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be interested to see how the project unfolds in Car Mechanics magazine, so do check that out, and let us know in the comments, what do you think of the E92 3 Series? Is it still a bit too new to be deemed a classic, or is it going to be on your bucket list at some point in the near future? But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
This video is proudly sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. Give them a call on 01480 400 889 for an insurance quote on your classic car. And don't forget to click the link below to enter their latest competition.